Hey up me ducks, it's Simon here, welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. So, something a little bit different today. I was perusing Facebook yesterday? Yeah, yesterday I think. And you know how you get your Facebook memories? Well, 4 years ago, as you can probably see here, 4 years ago on my memories, 3rd of September. Yeah, that was yesterday. What is time anyway? But I posted a picture of my bedside space because there was something that people were talking about on Facebook, which says that research shows you can tell a lot about a person from their bedside table. And that got me thinking, and I thought, do you know what? I've done a lot of videos over the years showing my work space, my meditation altar, my sacred space. And whilst I've done like flat tours and that sort of thing, I haven't really done an in-depth one about the space that's next to my bed, my bedside table. So I thought I would do that today. I've hashtagged it, my bedside table. I'd love to see yours. I hope that doesn't sound wrong. It's not meant to sound wrong. But anyway, I'm just going to read this a little bit here. It says, bedside table. The dresser or bedside table is a quirky telltale of a person's life. People usually keep the most important things close to their bed. Most showcase pictures of a person's family and something roomy, like a lamp or scented candle. I've got all of these. A dresser or bedside table can also hold important cards or letters, sometimes bills. Who on earth would want to sleep next to a bill? I can't think of anything more distracting or worse. So no bill was next to my bedside table. An easy to grab remedy for the night. Similar, I've got something similar, like water, sleeping, or other pills. Those who wear glasses or contacts probably keep those close by. I do. I kept them on for the video, but you'll see the glasses case. I wanted to be able to see what I was doing. And people who are married might keep their wedding bands there as well. Well, my rings never come off, ever. There is so much we can learn about ourselves and others from the minute things in our daily lives that contain little traces of us. And that really inspired me. Little traces of us. What do we keep next to our beds that reveal a little bit about who we are, a little bit about our personalities, our psyche? So yeah, come along. I'll show you my bedside space and I'd like to see yours if you're up for taking part. Okay, so we're in the bedroom. This is my bedside table. I do have another bedside table just over there. It's not got many exciting things on. It's got a few little bits, which I can show you afterwards. But this is it at a glance. And what I'm going to do now is we'll just go through each of the items and I'll explain why I've got what I've got next to my bed. Okay, so firstly, just above, I'm trying to get this so I don't mess it up, but just above the space here, I have this plaque, this beautiful wooden carved plaque. It was a birthday present for my 40th birthday, and I've had it ever since. And yeah, it just kind of, it's not high up on the wall, it's very low down on the wall, but just above my bedside area, and it's a treasured gift and I really like it. It just gives you that sense of calm and peace that you need for a bedroom setting, really. Okay, so here it is. I'm trying to think where to start. I suppose left to right would be the most useful thing to do. I am sat in a really creaky, rickety chair. I've had this chair for, gosh, over 20 years. It's an old computer type chair, but it sits in the bedroom now because I use this chair to sit in when I'm chanting in front of the cajon's on, which is, you can't see it, it's just off camera, but this is the unit which the Hanzon sits on top of. And I have it in the bedroom because I want it in a separate space to that where my meditation altar is, with the big gold Buddha on that you've seen in previous videos, and my my pagan sacred space, which is dedicated really to Gaia. So, and I've spoken before, and I don't need to go through it again, about sacred spaces. They can be whatever you want them to be, okay? It's very personal to the individual. There are no rights or wrongs. But in my home, I always, any space I have to me is a sacred space. It's always filled with beautiful little trinklements that have either been gifted to me, I've picked up on along my spiritual journey at some point. There are no spaces that are just what I would call dead spaces. They've all got some kind of sacred element to them. And the reason why my channel is called The Hermit's Cave is because it's my hermitage, it's my safe space, but also I like to think of my whole home as a spiritual home, one that is filled with elements of my belief and my practice, really. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this beautiful 1940s Buddha, which is in the far corner. I changed this up. A good friend, a really good friend of nearly 30 years, passed away in May, the beginning of May this year. So it still hasn't really sunk in because, yeah, it was unexpected, kind of. I had been poorly, but I knew that the end was coming, but it came a lot quicker than I think anybody really imagined. But a couple of years ago, she gave me this Buddha. Now, my friend Sue, who I'm talking about here, used to run an antique shop in Wales before they moved back to the Nottingham area, and had collected many treasures over the years from the antique shop. And this is a 1940s Buddha, and it is so beautiful. And a couple of years ago, she said she wanted me to have it because she knew I'd got Buddhas. She knew that Buddhism was part of my spiritual practice, and I think this was her most treasured, and she wanted me to have it, and it is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if all the details will pick up in this light, but it is a really beautiful piece. It is, you know, got a few little chips and things, but when you consider that this is, you know, 80 years old, it was late 30s, early 40s, and just look at the face, and I really like it. So I changed it up when my friend passed away because it was in another room, and the Buddha that I used to have in the corner here was my first ever Buddha that I bought in 2001, so 20 years ago now. And yeah, I decided to swap them around and have this one in here. So it's a really treasured and important gift. There's some spray here, and I like to use spray probably about an hour before coming to bed. What I tend to do is I come in, I light the candle, I put the light on, I'll have a little bit of a spray around. This works on linen as well, probably about an hour before bed. And this is Silver Pyramid. It's by Silver Pyramid. It's White Sage Blessing. It has a blessing here, but their products are really nice, and just gives off this lovely mist that I can spray around the bedroom, and particularly around on the linen as well. So White Sage Blessing. So, and I've had many sprays in the bedroom over the years. At Christmas, I like to have frankincense and myrrh from a shop over here. It's a high street shop called Marks and Spencer's, but they do a room mist, a room spray that's frankincense and myrrh, and I get it every year. I've still got some left actually from last year. It's in the hall at the moment because I spray it near the front door. But that's nice to have in here at Christmas time. I have a picture of my grandparents. This is my favourite picture, and I've probably shown it before when I've done my house tour or my sacred space tours. It just needs me to go inside and move the picture because it's just a little bit off centre. But this shows my grandparents in a really sort of fun, and it was so uncharacteristic that when I found it in an album after my grandparents passed away, I just had to have this picture, and I put it in this beautiful little frame. It's like a scroll with these two cherubs just overlooking. They were each other's sweethearts. I remember going to their ruby wedding anniversary, which is 40 years, when I was about 10. My granddad died relatively young. He was only 65. He just retired. You know, they've got a whole retirement ahead of them, and sadly he passed away. But they were inseparable, and my grandma didn't really last much longer without him, really. She became more or less a recluse, because if she was walking down the street, they'd never really been seen apart, and they used to hold hands. And people would say, "Oh, where's your husband?" You know, and it was too much for her to having to keep telling them. I just noticed a little speck or something there. It's bugging me. But yeah, my grandmother in particular was very staunch. She could be fun, especially when we were small children. Well, my grandfather was a Marine, and then he was a railway detective, then he went into the prison service. But this just shows them in their alone time, their lighter moments. They only had one child, which was my mum. But I really love it. I really love that picture. So I always have that out. Sorry, I just knocked the camera then, and it was very... it would have been too much for you. You would have got motion sickness, I think. So these are just two shells that I picked up earlier this year from Skegness Beach. No, Mablethorpe. Oh, Sandra, if you're watching this. Actually, I think this might have been from Gibraltar Point, these shells. But this one is really nice. I really like that. There's a larger shell as well, which is on my main sacred space, and it's got a crystal sphere. If I remember, I'll insert a picture, because I picked up 3 pieces. So these are here next to my bed, and the bigger piece is on the sacred space. I have a bell. If you know me, you'll know what I'm like for my bells. Really love them. I've got many bells. I've got 2 in here, a larger one which is again next to my cajon's for when I'm chanting. I've got them in the front room. I have lots of bells, but this is a nice one, and it's a travel bell because I mean it's beautiful. It's got this cushion, but this becomes a stand, but you can also put everything inside, and you can pop it back in this box and take it with you. But it's got a beautiful sound. You can obviously use it, you know, to sing, but I don't always use them to sing. I use them to cleanse. So that's really nice. And I got that from the Soka Gakkai International website, which is a Buddhist organisation. SGI-UK shop/shop, I think it is. And they've got lots of bells there for you to choose from. But that was a nice travel one that I wanted. A little fire and ice crystal here. I have 8 of these around my crystal sphere in the front room, representing each of the sabbats, and this was an extra one that I had, so it sits here next to me in bed. I've got a goddess representation here. This is a beautiful fluorite sphere, quite a nice large one as well. It sits perfectly in this goddess, representing, you know, the world. Because this is again a representation of Gaia. It's beautiful. I love this green mottled effect as well. And I believe, excuse me, I believe that this was sculptured by a local artist. So this was purchased from again, just outside Nottingham in Sherwood, a spiritual shop, a new age shop if you like, and this piece just spoke to me. And when I spoke to the owner, she said that it was a local sculptor that makes them, so I really wanted to support that as well. There we go. I think it's Witch's Wisdom, the name of the shop. It's gone completely out of my mind. I go there so many times. I have this Organite, which it's just so beautiful. Just look at this piece. I'm hoping the light picks it up. This is the underneath, which is really beautiful. But there's like a whole universe in there. And I don't know why, but it reminds me of nighttime, dream time, drifting off. And I got a couple last year, and I did show them on my channel, but this one in particular just spoke bedroom and needed to be next to the bed. So it's a really, really beautiful piece of Organite. So that's there. The decks that I have, now this is in a wrap, which is here. I took it out for ease because I didn't realise I was going to fix the camera to a stand, and I thought I was going to be holding it, trying to get the deck out, so I could have left it in its wrap. But this is my Carol Hertzer, which is a huge deck, and it's the Starlight Illuminated. So the deck that I use the most is the Illuminated Tarot by Carol Hertzer. This is the Starlight Illuminated. And it has, I'm hoping it picks it up, these beautiful, it's like a nighttime sky for the back with these sparkly bits in them. But this deck is an RWS deck that Carol painted from the original line work. It just speaks nighttime, and you know what I'm like for RWS. I love it. I wanted an RWS deck in the bedroom, and this was perfect. So this came in here a couple of months ago. Actually, I was switching the decks up for the ones next to my bed, and then I thought, do you know what? I want one permanent, kind of a nighttime feel. And then I thought of this because when I was working exclusively with Carol's decks, sorry, I just looked at the time and then I didn't think I was recording. It's like, I'm not recording since I knocked the camera. I was using the Illuminated in the morning and the Starlight in the evening, so it always felt like a nighttime deck for me. So yeah, oh, look at that, just look how beautiful that image is. So, and that fits quite snugly in its slip, which is beautiful. And again, it's like a nighttime sky effect. So that can go there. Then I have this Sweet Dreams. Now, I've got a number of these Rockpool Publishing mini decks. And this one, Sweet Dreams, it's beautiful. It's in this magnetic closure. I've had it next to my bed for a couple of years now. But basically, simply choose a card and read the message before you go to sleep or on waking. So you just give them a shuffle as you would any deck. And then you just pull a card before you go to sleep. And this one is Purpose. My dreams connect me to my purpose. So they're all about nighttime and sleep and dream states and things like that. So that that little deck goes there. I have a lump of rose quartz. Always have rose quartz next to me in the bedroom. I used to, in my old flat, have a piece of rose quartz under the bed. Someone once told me that as a tip. Put some rose quartz under your bed. Now, rose quartz, as you know, is a very calming stone. I mean, it is, you know, to open yourself up to love and harmony and all those kind of things. And lots of people use it as a stone to attract love. But it is very calming, and it's beautiful for assisting with getting to sleep and helping you to relax and feel calm enough to drop into a beautiful slumber. So rose quartz, I did used to have a beautiful polished piece. I've got, as you know, my Rosie, my goddess that's made out of rose quartz. I have thought about bringing her into the bedroom. Maybe I will at some point, but for now, I'm just really happy with this nice rough piece that I've had it here for a few years. Gosh, I say a few years, over 10 years. It doesn't go, I don't put a piece under the bed anymore because I've got a divan that goes right down to the floor. So, and I don't really need it to be under the bed as long as it's very close to me. My pillows are literally here. So I'm right next to the bed. Candle, I like these Jasmine candles. I was just looking for the lid for this so I could show it you, but it's by Karma Scents, and this is, let me blow it out. I don't want to spill any sort of wax out as I tilt it. Hopefully you can see that. They are travel candles. Let me just sort that out, stop it from smoking. There we go. So this is the Karma scent, and I love Jasmine. Jasmine is a beautiful scent for the bedroom. Again, for similar reasons with the rose quartz, it's very calming. Lots of people like lavender in the bedroom as well. I'm not huge on lavender. I like the scent of lavender, but I think I prefer Jasmine. And if I don't get the Karma travel ones, then I will usually I order them now because I don't get to go off often to Tissington in Derbyshire, but there's a place there called On a Wick and a Prayer, and they do an Arabian jasmine candle, and it is beautiful. But this one by Karma is nice too. And here's the lid for it. So I always put the lids back on. I think it helps to protect the scent for a little bit longer. These aren't expensive. I think this was £2.50, something like that. It's not an expensive one, the Karma range. They do incense as well, but I don't particularly like their stick incense, but I do like their scented candles. We've all seen the Ayote placemats. This is the first design, so I've sent so many of these out around the world to people. And if you've got one of these, this was the first design. Mine's a little bit stained now from the amount of coffee cups that I have, because invariably what I'll do is I'll get a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, get back into bed, check my social media and things. So this gets used a lot. But this was the first design, and then there was a new design. So I'm trying to think of somebody who I might have sent a new design to. Maybe Chris Kelly. But yeah, there's one of two designs, and this was the old design. It's a little bit worn now, but I've had it for a number of years. My phone, obviously I need to have my phone on charge overnight, so my phone charger is right next to me. Excuse me. And as I mentioned, I'll get up in the morning, I'll make some fresh coffee, I'll get back into bed. It's my favourite time of the day. My alarm goes off at 5:30 every day of the week. The only time I'll probably have a lay-in is today, Saturday, but a lay-in for me is 7 a.m. Where I'll not set the phone alarm, but my clock radio, which is on the other table, goes off irrespective, and I'll be in light slumber listening to music and people talking on the radio. I like soft lighting in here, so I have a salt lamp. This salt lamp, I've switched it up. I've got a bowl, a salt lamp bowl with all the stones in. That's now in the front room, because this salt lamp isn't your typical salt lamp. It has a piece of rock salt in this beautiful, so tactile. I'm such a tactile person. But the heat from this lamp, it's got a flat surface here. It's not going to show up very well on camera unless I touch there. That's a little bit better. So it has a flat surface here. And you place the flat surface of the stone on top and it heats the stone up. And let me change the lighting back. Sorry about this cough, I don't know where it's come from. I'm obviously talking too much. So it'll heat the stone up, and I have spinal damage. My C7 vertebrae in my spine was damaged in 2001, which is 20 years now. Wow. It doesn't cause me a lot of pain, but if I'm sitting for too long, it affects my right arm and my lower back, and the right arm, particularly around the shoulder. So I have to have 4 pillows, and I'm going to show you, if I can turn this slightly that way, you can see 4 pillows next to my bed, on my bed. And that's a bit of a nightmare when I'm going away places, because people don't always have 4 pillows. So if I don't have 4 pillows and I'm not in a sort of upright-ish position, the next day I will be in agony. I'll have seized up, I won't be able to walk, I'll be in so much pain. I'll wake up probably after about 3 or 4 hours in agony. So there's certain adaptations I need. So when I go away, I always say to people, I really need quite a few pillows, if that's okay. I can't sleep on sleeping bags, I can't go camping or anything like that. But I digress. This stone, having it next to the bed, is really lovely. If I do wake up, if I've slept in a strange position, I can put this on for a little while. And this hot stone is lovely on my shoulder, on the back of my shoulder, or the base of my back. And it just lets off this heat, and it's beautiful for healing. So I have that next to my bed. So that is my main bedside table. It does change up. Oh, the cloth, I've got to mention. I had a turquoise cloth on here until this week, and then Brant from the channel Moon Baby, who's just released his Moon Baby tarot, if you back to deck, you got a hand tie-dyed cloth. It's a spread cloth, but it's quite large actually. And I purchased 2 decks. So I got this one, which is this beautiful lilac, purple kind of lilac colour, and an orange one. And the orange one is in the front room. But I'm washing the fabrics that I've got at the moment. And so I changed it, and I really like it. It's really nice to have that here in the bedroom. So there we have it. I'll show you the other side just so you can see it, but there's nothing much to see. All right, so the other side of the bed, and I've got a CD player. Well, it's a CD player and a iPod. So you can, how can I show you? I suppose you can move it that way. Do you see I've got an iPod in there? And that way for the CD bit. Okay, so it's a music station really. It does play radio, but it's not DAB. So I got a DAB radio last year for my birthday from a very good friend. And that's what goes off every morning at 5:30, irrespective of the day. I get up every morning at 5:30, like I said, with the exception of Saturdays, even on Sundays when I'm not at work, because I go over to my friends for about 6:30 and we walk dogs. And that's a really nice walk and some exercise I get every week. I have my glasses case next to the bed, not very exciting. I've got this little Wade elephant. I like Wade. They remind me of the 70s when I was a child. We had lots of little Wade ceramics, and the elephant one was always my favourite because I love elephants. I've got many elephants and many Ganeshas, and so I have my little Wade elephant. Talking about Ganesh, I've got a little Ganesh here. This I bought from the Indian community in Leicester, which was a lovely little shop, and I saw it, and it's quite a weighty piece, but I loved him. This mat is from my mum. She bought it me a few years ago, and it says, "My son, you may wander far and near, but as my son, you're always here, close to my heart." And I have it out. I don't use it. I don't put mugs on it because I don't want to spoil it, but I've had it over 10 years and I love it. So it's always out anyway. I have a stone. I love kind of petrified wood and things like that. And then this dish, and this is quite new actually. Sandra sent me I nearly said rose quartz for some reason, because I've just been talking about rose quartz. This blue lace agate for the throat chakra. So she sent me that, and I've got a couple of, you know, if I'm wearing bracelets and things, I've got one here that has obsidian, which I like. But this dish is beautiful actually, and I've had this many years, probably about 15 years. Again, it was a birthday gift, and it had a smaller one that came in 2-piece, and that broke. But I just use it to put, you know, if I get into bed and I take off bracelets or pieces of jewelry or whatever, I'll just pop them there. And that's it for this very small one over here. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Do consider showing us yours. No judgments, no judgments at all. But it'll be fun to see, particularly with you know, what I said at the beginning about what it reveals about people. I'm not quite sure what mine reveals about me, but hey ho. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.